title you'd say Internal Civil War. That would be my title of my sermon. Internal Civil War. You know, civil war is a war, it's you against you. It's a war in one nation. Different functions of one group of people fighting against each other. Why I call it the internal civil war? Because you are fighting against yourself. You are your worst enemy. And if the truth is to be told, you know it is. Praise the Lord. Spiritual warfare is an attack from inside out, not outside in. Write that down. Spiritual warfare is what? Attack from where?
Inside out.
Inside out, not what? Outside in. Can you get that? Do you understand it? Whether the demonic is on 0%, 5%, 10% or 50%, it doesn't matter. Resisting the devil is simple if your relationship between God is not hindered. Resisting the devil, scripture says, resist him and he will flee. Why is it that every time you are resisting and he's not fleeing? Because your relationship with God is not right. That's why he's not fleeing. The source of fleeing is fleeing from power that does not come from your ability. It comes from the relationship you have with God.
Amen.
So you are feared not because you are you. You are feared because you are a son of God.
Amen.
You are feared because of whose you are, not who you are.
Amen.
So don't go around and make noise about who you are. Who are you? The sons of Sceva, they were asked the same thing. Who are you? Before we club by you, we just want to know who you are. Who are you? So it doesn't matter. I sense the demonic, I sense the demonic, I sense the demonic. You can sense what the demonic or you want. If your relationship is not right with God, you'll be clobbered. I want to repeat the points that I wanted to give last week before I continue. Some of you have gone for what is called spiritual healing, faith healing, or physical healing, isn't it? You've always wanted people to pray for you, either for physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual stuff. I want you to understand something. All of that stuff can happen is good. Spiritual healing is very good. But that spiritual healing cannot take place if there's no salvation in your life. Because if that demon has been cast out of your life and you have not given your heart to God, those demons are coming back. You cannot, I will repeat, you cannot cast out devils and they stay away and you keep doing whatever you are doing in your life and not getting your house clean. Clean your house. Tell your neighbor, say, clean your house.
Clean your house.
Clean your house. Hebrews 5:5. So also Christ did not glorify himself to become high priest, but it was he who said to him, "You are my son. Today I have begotten you." As he also says in another place, "You are a priest forever, according to the order of Melchizedek." Offered up prayers and supplications with vehement cries and tears to him who was able to save him from death, and was heard because of his godly fear. Though he was a son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered, and having been perfected, he became the author of eternal salvation to all who obey him, called by God as his high priest according to the order of Melchizedek. Praise the Lord. This is talking about Christ. Says he learned what? Though he was a son, he learned obedience through the what? The things he suffered. What are you learning through stuff that you are suffering? How many of you say, I have suffered the last year? What have you learned? You see, now we have Makotis in church. Now they're just looking like this. Don't look like this. Look at me. Look at your neighbor even. What have you learned? Through the stuff, we've agreed that we've all suffered. Yes?
Yes.
What have you learned from that? Christ learned obedience through the stuff he suffered. Yet you are what? You are not learning obedience. You are learning even more disobedience. You are finding more ways on trying to bypass those things. You are having what? Long suffering. Long suffering as a fruit of the Spirit has been turned to wrong suffering. You are suffering for mahala. You are not learning your lessons. Praise the Lord. Jesus Christ, let me break this down. He says, though he was a son of God, he learned. Let me focus on the word learned. Jesus was infinity. Time did not hold him. But as God, he allowed himself to walk into time. To be limited by something that cannot limit him. To live like you and I. So scripture has to be clarified when scripture says he suffered. If what type of a God suffers? That means he limited. He removed the ability not to suffer. He removed his robe from being God to being a man. So that one time when he said, God, I can't take it anymore, he'll be able to say, yes, you can. Because I know how it feels like it. So he moved from being infinity, from having time in his hand, to being controlled by time. What do I mean by controlled by time? We are all controlled by time. Your time in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening is not yours. You run to time. Time doesn't run to you. Even if you take your time right now and you pause it, does the day pauses?
No.
Does the day pauses?
No.
Even you just say, no, I'm just going to chill for a little while. I want to sleep. It's 12 o'clock. When you wake up, is it still 12 o'clock?
No.
So who's the servant to who here? You or the time? You are subject to time. No matter whatever you do, you cannot redeem it. Yet scripture says God holds time in his hand.
Hallelujah.
He was able to say, the thing that I hold in my hand, I'm subjecting myself to it. And come as a child and be born on this earth and be subjected to pain and be subjected for the things that we all suffer, so that one day we cannot make claims and say, you do not understand what it feels. You have not gone through what I've gone through. You have not felt what I felt. And Christ says, you have no idea. Many instances in the word, Christ as a man suffered those things and did not just press the button and say, now I'm going into a God mode. You have watched Superman. How many of you have watched Superman? Spider-Man? Catman? Huh? Catwoman? The one I want to talk about is Iron Man. Iron Man is a big mouth. He speaks a lot. He talks a lot. He's like someone I know. He talks. But every time there is any form of trouble, what does he do? He puts himself in an Iron Man suit, ready to what? Engage the enemy. Jesus didn't do that. When they came in like a flood, he didn't say when they betrayed him. Do you know the pain of the betrayal?
Yeah.
Do you know the pain of betrayal? Somebody you opened your heart to. Somebody that you became human to. Can you imagine? God became human and allowed you to see him in his human form. And God who said, now I'm about to show you my weakest form. Allowed you and you betray him. We're not talking about Judas. We're talking about the disciples. We're talking about you today. How many times do you deny him? Because you are too embarrassed. I know, I'm an introvert. You are hiding behind the English word. What is to be introvert? We introverts. Now we introverts. Now say, we introverts, we don't deserve to go to heaven. Yay. Say it. We introverts, we don't deserve blessings. I know. How come we are suffering? No, I'm an introvert. So introverts with blessings, they don't mix. How come? But when it comes to God and speaking about him and representing him, now you're an introvert. Huh? The men that he was walking with denied him when he needed them the most. Guys, understand this. When Jesus needed comfort, it was not a heavenly comfort. It was not God who was saying, I need a hug. It was a full man, full human being who had been really just frustrated by life, by the storms of life, and said, guys, I need your help. Let's go pray for a second. And where was the church? He comes back and he finds the church sleeping. He says, when I come back again, will I find you awake? Because you have a propensity to sleep to the world. He did that twice. He went, came back, found you asleep. They had excuses. What is your excuse? Why are you asleep today? You have your excuse. Master, we are tired. We are tired. We are to sleep. You still make the same excuses. And says, when I return, will I find faith on the earth? Will he find faith? What will he find you doing? You see, the problem with you, you think that you have time. You think you have time, the very same thing that we told you that you don't have. You think you have it. And you play around with it. And your credits for time, it's credited to the kingdom of darkness. And you want to talk about spiritual warfare? Hi. Let me tell you that. Some of us, me included, you have no idea why I run. I can't afford to actually stop. Even when I'm bleeding, even when one leg is so painful, I can't stop because I know what's following me. Just 1 second, you say, now I can rest, I'm gone. And you have the luxury of thinking that you can rest. You think the earth is the place for rest. I think that's where you have mistaken it. You're thinking that heaven is the mission. Heaven. You think your life, God created you to toy around with you and make you suffer here so that you can make it to heaven. The mission which became the commission was never heaven. The mission which became the commission is earth. In the strategy board in the heavenly places, there is a strategy that says mission earth. Your assignment is not to make it to heaven. Your assignment is here. What are you doing here?
Sure.
Look at your neighbor and say, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Apart from gossiping, slandering, lying, cheating, stealing. What else? Murdering. Have you ever seen that somebody who murders someone that's like a deeper level? You'd have murdered them with your words already. Sometimes I just feel like it's actually easy to be murdered with a gun than to be murdered with words. Where are you? What is your category? Ask your neighbor, say, neighbor, what is your category? We're talking today. We're talking. What is your category? Some are looking at me like you're hungry. Please just sit up properly so that you don't look like you're hungry. What is your category? Why? If you ever asked yourself, why on earth am I here? Why on earth am I here? What is the assignment? Can I touch you a little bit as if I wasn't touching you? Can I touch you?
Yes. Go deeper.
Thank you, Brandon.
Amen.
Though a son, he says he did not consider it a privilege. Though a son of God, he did not consider it a privilege to be taken advantage of. Some of you are in a relationship because you want to take advantage of those relationships. How many of you have ever phoned your bank manager to just say, hey, you are looking beautiful today, I just want to say have a great day? Because you just know that there you go when you need your money. Guys, open your eyes. You must know people in your life. What are they there for? And categorize them. Romans, countrymen, users, abusers, and others. So that when you see somebody coming, you know, this one is this one is this, you would save your life a lot of pain. I don't think it's worth going through life with a band-aid on your heart. Some of you are never fighting in your spiritual battles because you are always heartbroken.
Sure, yeah.
Look at your neighbor and say, he's talking to you. You know, speaking on my behalf, the season that I'm in. The season I'm in, it's a no-nonsense. If I'm going this way and you come in my way, I'll shoot you. You understand? Even Jesus at some stage he was in that war mode and says, get thee behind me, Satan. I have no time for games. The disciples were playing games. They were throwing darts and dice and say, okay, who is the greatest? Who besides Jesus? Who's the number 2? As if it's a soccer team. You don't know the Bible. They go to what's his name? Lazarus. No, he has died. Let's go die with him. Walking with Christ, he never understood anything. You have a bus full of people, and all of them, they don't even know where they're going. The bus breaks down. Instead of helping the bus to get up, they are the ones that are actually stealing the wheels. Huh? This is sad, really. Jesus did not take advantage of his privileges. When I speak about staying in one room, I grew up in one room, I know how it feels. I'm not speaking against it. It's okay for you to be there for 2 seconds, but dream big. Desire more. You can't teach stuff that you have not experienced. There are certain moments in your life where you've gone through the worst, and for somebody to start talking about it, you just smile. And you know that you have no clue what you're talking about. Somebody who has lost a mother is only fully comforted by somebody who knows how it is to lose a mother. A lot of people go to funeral, sorry, I know how it feels to lose parents. But they have both of their parents. So when we are revealing Christ to the world, do you know him? Do you know about him? You know about him, you've heard of him, but you don't know him. If you really knew him in your heart, if you really, my goodness. Hey, you do stuff, we can see, your whole week we can see you, evidence of this is the person who knows Christ. It's littered everywhere. It's littered everywhere. What is it in your life this week that people can say, whoa, wow, everywhere you have been, the whole week, they can see evidence that this is the person who knows Christ. Because if you don't know Christ, you're in crisis. It's time to run. Amen? Amen. It's time to run. There's no time to play. There's no time to be listening to our hormones. We want to be known by your hormones. Is that how you want to be known? Look at your neighbor and say, he's talking to you. Now finish with this. The operational level of spiritual warfare is the most exciting. It's what we learn in the book of Exodus when Moses prayed. And he says this to the Lord, show me your way. Show me your glory. For these people that you've asked me to lead are very stubborn. They are very stubborn. They are hard people. So show me your way. And the book of Psalms says, then the children of Israel knew God's acts, but never knew his ways. Yet Moses knew his ways. The church is fixated in knowing God's acts. Oh, he did this. Oh, this door opened. Oh, that door. You always want to go into doors. What's wrong with you? Our prayer are focused on opening doors. Breakthroughs, breakthroughs, breakthroughs. Yet breakup upon breakup comes. Moses prayed to God, show me your ways. When you know God's ways, you know what? You could be against the grain, but you know that God is in it. You could be saying that even right now someone is saying, yeah, I know how I'm feeling and I know what's going on in my life. And I know I just continue talking and finish and I go back to my nonsense. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. How many of you are spirit beings? Spirit beings. How many of you can tell right now where you are? that something is happening in your heart and the Lord is talking to you this moment. How many of you say that? But as long as you do that, how many of you take the next step and say, I know God is talking to me and I know exactly what to do? You think God throws puzzles at you to mess you up, to confuse you up, like he's playing with you? Just because you play with him doesn't mean he plays with you. And some of you think you're playing with him, but you don't even know that you're not even playing with him, because he does not play games.
Come on.
1 minute you're hot, next minute you're cold. 1 minute you're hot, next minute you're cold. So we stay in a place of brokenness, in a place of non-essential, a place where we can't gain ground. We're not gaining ground because we are too Munya. Wake up. Jesus was saying, get up. If you have to crawl, if you have to roll, if somebody has to pull you, get up. We can't stay here. We can't stay. Are you going to be a reason why God's people could not be saved? Because you were too emotional. You were not feeling too good. Get yourself right. No man in this place has any power to get you right. Get yourself right. Allow him to heal you and move on.
Amen.
Stop this things. Stop it. There's no time for games. We have ministers here sitting.